What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Eclectic Beard Reactions. This go around, the man you've all been asking for. Josh of After Work Reactions. Sir, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How you feeling?
Man, I am doing awesome. It's so nice to take and meet you, and it's so nice that you agree to do this. Um, so far, everybody else that I've asked and reached out to, they've all got fewer subscribers than I do, which is cool because I'm hoping they get some subscribers off of that, and they can get
Yeah.
some more eyes on them. But you're kind of you're like the pinnacle. You're like the person everybody's like, all right, that's the dude I want to take and be like, or that's a channel I want to have a channel like his. So nice to have you, man.
Nice to be here, man. Nice of you to say that. I appreciate that. I never looked at it that way.
It's funny. I try to do this for everybody. I kind of go back a little bit and I try to see, when you first started and everything. Your first video was a reaction to Patrice O'Neal, which awesome, awesome choice for a first reaction because that cat
Yeah.
is funny. Um, I noticed that a lot of your early stuff is like comedy and stuff like that. What
Yeah.
made you actually want to take, because there's so many music reactors and stuff like that, what made you want to take and actually go, I'll take a look at comedy and like movie trailers and movie type stuff instead of like what most people take and associate reaction channels with?
Primarily because for a long time I've been a fan of reaction channels like the Real Rejects, Tyrone Magnus. I came across a couple small reactors who are reacting to comedy, and I've always loved stand up, but I've been off of it for years. I haven't watched a lot of stand up for a long time, all the way back to, man, God bless him, growing up watching stuff like Eddie Murphy, a few of those clips and stuff like that, and Def Comedy Jam when that was around, of things like that. And I wanted to get back into it, and I said, why not? These other people are doing like recording themselves react to comedy, like why not record my journey of discovering new comedians and new stand up and stuff like that. And it was something I can do with my girl because we wanted to do something that something we can do together. And she never liked stand up, and we're kind of juggling between, because she loves horror movies and I've never been a big fan, and I like stand up, and I wanted to kind of like I said, go out and find some more comedians, and we end up just landing on doing stand up. And she didn't like our schedule conflicts, end up having her like step away from the channel, and it just never worked back out where she came back. So that's why you see her not on the channel anymore either. But she didn't enjoy it as much as me either. She's not a big fan of stand up. So it was I won't say it was like pulling teeth, but it's supposed to be like a thing for us to do together, and it turned into like a thing where it was like more of like a headache for her. She preferred to be like out in the garden and doing stuff like that. So that happened that way. But mostly it's because I saw comedy reaction channels. I wanted to start checking out comedy again, and I said, why not record my journey on the way up? So
That's good reason to take and do it. Now, I was going to say, I did notice because I looked at Patreon, and both of you are retail managers.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing at two different places. Like, how is that taking an impact? How or when you're able to take and actually do your reactions? Because I'm sure being a retail manager, I know long hours can go into that, especially depending on where you're working at.
Yeah. So Tay was actually, she was a retail manager she left retail management, and now she does a job at home. I never say the current jobs we're in, because all it takes is one person to do something crazy, and then now your career is impacted. But at the time, she worked at Claire's. Now she's somewhere else. She was store manager at Claire's. Claire's closed down during the pandemic, and they're closed so long she had to find work somewhere else. And yeah, like same thing. I won't mention like where I work at now, but for about 13 years, I was at Walmart, then CVS, and I was there for a long time, and now I'm somewhere else. And it's hard because it's really long hours. And the way I'm able to record it, like I said, like she's usually tired, or when she has her free time, she has specific things she wants to do. And it's really just about forcing yourself to make time, really. It's about like what, I don't know. It's really hard to say. A big part of it is I don't sleep a lot, which is very unhealthy. I sleep maybe about 4 or 5 hours a night. So that hurts me, but helps me as well that I have a terrible sleep schedule, because I can use record within those cracks. Especially with the Patreon schedule, recording and uploading every day on Patreon, then also recording, editing, and everything to get stuff on like YouTube, and then also trying to be as prominent as possible in the comment sections on Patreon and YouTube. It's definitely a lot to juggle. It's just really I don't know. It's about trying to form a habit. It's hard to stick to a routine. I just try to have like do a bunch of habit forming. But it's not easy. It's not always consistent. It's not always on the same schedule or anything. It's really just working it in when I can get it in, but also doing it at a time where I'm not too tired to actually enjoy what I'm watching. So
Yeah.
it's just a juggle. It's just a juggle.
And I think that dichotomy of not being tired enough to where you actually enjoy what you're watching or reacting to, I think that's a big thing that a lot of folks quite don't get sometimes, especially if you're working a full-time job plus doing this. Like,
Yeah.
because you can sit down, you have all the best intentions in the world, and you get about halfway through the reaction or halfway through the video, and it's like, yeah, this just ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
I can't put this out because if I'm not in the mood where I'm enjoying it, I know they're not going to take and enjoying it. It's just because, and it's not for lack of trying, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I noticed you've had a channel before, and it was called, and let me bring this up, Barely Making It, and I clicked on the link for it in your Patrice O'Neal video, and 404. I was like, oh well, crap. I noticed she had. There's a link for her as well. So did it get to where it was too hard to take and actually juggle more than just one YouTube channel, or?
Yeah, so she started when she actually tried a couple of them, and I forgot what it was called. I forgot which one she was like. It was a couple of them she tried, but it turned to like, yeah, juggling too much. And for me, same thing. Like, I was barely making it at first, and I changed the name, and it's still there. It's Casual Creator. It was just trying to, those projects that I was doing there when it comes to like 3D printers and learning how to like doing t-shirts, stuff like that. Those videos take so much time to do, so much time to edit, and it just one of those things that fell through the cracks. Like, I mean, it's still up. It's just that I changed the name. Earlier, when I had about 200 to 400 subs, it was Barely Making It. And then about 500 subs, something like that, I changed it to like the Casual Creator. And I just never updated the links under all the videos. When I was telling people, like, if you want to check this stuff out. And I don't think I posted on there for about 9 months. So a big part of it was like, this is already a ton of work. It's more work than people think. And that was just not, it just wasn't feasible. Like, I'm pretty good at like spraying myself around, but it got to the point where it was just too thin. It was too thin. So I had to sacrifice something. And unfortunately it was that. And I have another channel too. I just called it He Looks Familiar because I wanted to try to like start reacting to like more like nerd stuff. I wanted more sci-fi stuff because I kind of blew through all the Star Trek and everything, and I wanted a new universe to get immersed in. Mm-hmm. And that was like a way for me to actually grow with something and record my journey, and then find out and get new recommendations. And it started with like people talking about Warcraft, and then it went into me discovering Warhammer, which is a massive universe that I fall in love with. It's massive. It's like unlimited.
I've got people in my community, and at some point in time here in the very near future, I'm going to take and buy some pieces to put together because, yeah, Warhammer is a lot more huge than what I thought. Because over here, you know, It's big thing is Dungeons and Dragons or like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Over in England, it's Warhammer 40K, and oh my God, just bringing up the rule book. So.
Yeah, it's massive, man. It's crazy. I'm like, yo, this is gonna give me years of content to enjoy. It's not running out anytime soon, man. This is good stuff. I love it too. It's great. I don't upload as much as I would like to on that channel, but I still read the books and stuff. I've purchased at least 12 books. I've read about 5 of them now, and it's just an amazing universe. It's fantastic, and the fans are amazing too. They're so welcoming. They're like, yeah, come on, man, join in, love it with us. They're real cool, man.
It's fun. It's almost cult-like. It's all the Warhammer people. They kind of remind me of like Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons or something like that, with the way they, you know, because it's like, hey, you ever heard of this? Hey, you ever heard of this? And it's like, yeah. whoa. But then you look into it, like you said, and it's like, holy crap, that's actually. So yeah, that's something I'll be digging into myself personally. It's cool to take and actually find out. You have to take and let me know after this, your other channel with all this stuff, and even if you haven't uploaded for a minute, I'd still like to take a look at it. So,
yeah, for sure.
Now, I noticed you've got a lot of like, it seems like full episode reactions and stuff, even on like YouTube and stuff like that, which you don't see a lot of that because the copyright stuff that we all run into as reactors, like you have a hard enough time uploading just clips of certain things at times. You get those blocks, and it's like, it's only like 15 seconds, man. Why can't I? But right. They can actually be able to get like either full or like longer clips on YouTube. Like, how have you been able to take and actually kind of navigate and learn? What's been your process on that? Because I know you taking and being on here for so long, it probably took you a hot minute to actually kind of find some nuances that maybe um, you had, either others haven't thought of, or you hit that certain little code or whatever.
Yeah. So that's a really good question. Unfortunately, the system is so inconsistent. You have to learn as you go. But I'll tell you like the stuff that has worked for me. When I first started, I I learned through tripping and falling. So when somebody told me I really need to check out Idiot Abroad, I start reacting to that. And when I upload it, it gets copyright claimed, but they don't block it. I'm like, golden. That's what I'm looking for. Claim it, just don't block it. You can have the money, just let people see it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fantastic. And the people then there was the Ricky Gervais show. I was watching that as well. And copyright claim, no block, golden. And then I people was like, you know what you need to watch next once Idiot Abroad is over, Moaning of Life. I'm like, dude, I can't wait. I love Carl. This is fantastic. I reacted to Moaning of Life, got a copyright strike from Sky. And that's when I learned my lesson that every company isn't the same. It's not like a blanket thing, that not everybody's okay with a claim, because at first Sky claimed it. I'm like, golden, it's claimed, it's up. And then maybe a week later, they did a copyright strike and took the video down. So now I don't mess with anything from Sky. And I've had 3 copyright strikes so far. So you kind of like learn as you go, no matter how much you learn to like adjust, like for example, dimming things out. The algorithm updates. So I've heard different estimates. Some people say once a month, once every 3 months, what have you. It learns really fast. So for a while, I was able to dim things out. Mm-hmm. And with dimming it down, it was able to upload. And then I learned that didn't work with everything. So now I do like where I try to bubble it and overlay it with something else. And that works for only some things as well. So really it's just navigating and learning which companies are more aggressive than others. That's the biggest thing. I learned that if there's a double claim, if you dispute a double, say for example, like you might be familiar with like Little Dot Studio, Channel 4, BBC. So Little Dot Studio is like a licensing company that monitors like the copyrights and stuff. And for, I guess, earlier in their works, Channel 4 had their own copyright manager and digital licensing company, but they screw up and they double claim. So it says Channel 4 NLDS. That gives you grounds to copyright dispute it and then most likely drop it. The reason why I don't submit disputes is because a dispute can turn to a strike. So I'm willing, as long as they keep it up, just take the money. I don't want to do the dispute, but it is a loophole you can use to get it removed. Is in most cases, like I said, if there's 2 of them on there, you can dispute it and fall off. And an example is All My Father's Heads maybe lasts about a week or so. And then after a week, they get manually reviewed and copyright claimed, and it blocks by 70% of my audience. So only Americans can see it. Nobody in the UK or anywhere else can see it. But if you go to, I don't know if you heard of Taffy 316. Mm-hmm. He has the full reactions up there of the full episodes of Father's Head. Haven't asked them, but I assume because it gets claimed by Channel 4 and Little Dot Studio, he most likely disputes it. They drop the claim, and then people are able to see the whole thing. So it all depends. It's just navigating by each company. Every company is different, unfortunately. Everyone is very, very different.
Oh yeah, very much so. And see, I haven't tried reacting any. I reacted one Father Ted, and he got a copyright claim. I didn't even take a look, so I didn't even think about that. But yet, and see, that's my thing. If it's claimed, cool beans, you can get your money off of, as long as my people can see it.
You know, exactly
that, or even if you. The only time I'll dispute a claim is if it's like, oh yeah, it's blocked in these territories, and if it's like the UK, I'm like, well, I kind of got to dispute this because that's who my audience is. I've got like 2% of my audience is the US, and that's it, if even that. So
yeah,
it's not going to get any traction, and these people have been requesting it. So
absolutely,
that's so I'm assuming that's also one of the reasons why you kind of took some stuff over to took a lot of things over to Patreon as well, because I know that you've got the Google Drive links that you click on to take and actually download stuff over there.
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing for my Discord. So.
Okay. So yeah, I do. That's so I use Google Drive and a couple other ones because I had what is it called? Vimeo. I only use Vimeo because I liked it because it was the one they recommended for Patreon because they have a built-in integrated system. So you can just paste the URL and you hit play right there as opposed to using the links. And after using Vimeo for 4 or 5 months, they gave me a rapid back-to-back like strike. And they didn't send me any emails from all the strikes. I only got an email from one strike saying that I was reported, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And they just cleared out my whole library and told me there was no disputing it. and I had already paid for a year, which was like I think $600 something. And it was like, there's no disputing it. It is what it is. I tried going back and forth to try to see what I can do, and I was like, that's it. So like now I don't really take any chances with like with the ones that give the option of streaming, especially when it comes to I feel like you get an eye on you when it comes to like your view rate, like your traffic when it's really big. It seems like that's when it heightens the chance of you getting striked or taken down. They happen on me like Daily Motion as well, where I've received I'll say like maybe 12 strikes on Daily Motion now, but they're not clear about how many you're allowed to have before they take down your library. Right. So I started slowing down that too. What I would usually do is do an edited down version just to get it on YouTube, and then I provide a Daily Motion link for people to watch the full thing on there. So that hurts you in multiple ways. The one way it hurts you is YouTube doesn't like you to take people off their website. So when they click on that link, that hurts how much traction it gets to other people. Mm-hmm. Then once you go to Daily Motion, if there's high enough traffic there, Daily Motion looks at that, and people who own the copyright to it can submit a takedown notice because of that traffic kind of helps put an eye on it. So you lose it there. And then if you lose your entire, if you get enough strikes once the system isn't clear, I can lose my entire Daily Motion library, which is like almost 300 videos, and Daily Motion has limits. So it'll take me forever to get them all re-uploaded because you can't upload no more than 2 hours total per day worth of footage. And they have a high failure rate. I've tried to upload like 3 episodes at a time before, and out of the 3, maybe 1 makes it through, other 2 fail, and those 2 still count against you, even if they don't post. So if I wanted to re-upload all the videos, I'd just be like screwed. So what I started doing now is I'll put Daily Motion tip link after it gets to a certain amount of views. Then I remove the link to prevent it from getting too much traction from me losing my Daily Motion. So right. It's honestly a whole lot of juggling with everything. Google Drive, Mediafire, a little bit of I use OneHub. It's just, and those, they cost money, but you have to just like Vimeo does, but you have to pay into it to have some form of security because you never know what's going to show up that's going to get your entire library removed. Mm-hmm. The copyright stuff is pretty it's pretty harsh. They're pretty aggressive with it.
Yeah. And that was the other thing I was going to ask, because I noticed you've got the Daily Motion. People and I've heard it I don't know how many times, hey, you already taken, just upload Daily Motion, so and so does. And I'm like, you do realize, because I've posted Lee Evans and Mickey Flanagan both on Daily Motion, because I started a Daily Motion account just so I could have an alternate place for some of these videos.
Yeah.
Bam, straight down. Bam, straight down. DMCA takedown. I was like, well, it's like, I don't know how well that's going to work out. If I keep uploading stuff and it just gets taken down, it's going to be kind of the same thing that I get here on YouTube then. And that's one of the things I think a lot of people don't see behind the scenes, is how much we juggle and have to take and actually, like you said, just find those spots where you can kind of put something, so that way you've got, whether it's something that you've already got up or whether it's something that it's been blocked, it's kind of not going to be put up, but it's a way for that video that you've reacted to be viewed. It sounds like, though, you've got a little more pots in on the burners than what I do as far as where you're putting stuff out, though. So I might have to take a look into some of that. But Now, who's your favorite comedian you've reacted to? Favorite U.S. comedian that you've
favorite U.S. I'm gonna have to say hands down Patrice O'Neal, like for sure. Patrice O'Neal has to be my favorite American comedian. I don't know, he said it before, he made the joke that he speaks fluent guy, and it really does, because it feels like he's just saying stuff that's in my head all the time. And it's like, Jesus Christ, when it comes to being in a relationship, everything. He cracks me up. God rest his soul, man. It stinks that he passed away, but the guy he's a hilarious man. He's hilarious. He cracks me up. Sure.
Definitely so. Who's your favorite stand-up UK comedian you've reacted to?
I have to say, I know I might get some stink for this, because people go back and forth, but I'm gonna say Mickey Flanagan, man, because he just feels unfiltered. I know people say hey, you should throw what's his is it Frankie Boyle? Mm-hmm. Probably something like Frankie Boyle. I like Al Murray. I like Peter Kay. Peter Kay, as I'll say, is more of a family friendly comedian for the most part. He don't really tote that line as much. I really like how Mickey Flanagan just he says what he says. He's really he feels unfiltered. That's why I like him the most. Everything he says feels unfiltered. It's a bit raunchy, and I enjoy his stuff, man, for sure.
See, I've got to look at more of his stuff, because he keeps on getting requested. Every time I try to do it, it gets blocked. But I have to look at him, because everything I've seen at anybody who has been able to get something up, he is just leaves you in stitches. Leaves you in
Yeah,
stitches.
he's hilarious, man.
Um, What's your favorite sitcom that you've reacted to? Because you've reacted to quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of stuff, which shows how much like when you have like Patreon, it's a bit easier to navigate that stuff. You can put it up without worrying about like blocks and strikes constantly. But I'm trying to think. I've done so many of them. It's a real hard choice because I don't want to base it on how often I've watched reruns. I'll probably say I've watched the most reruns of IT Crowd, but I won't put that. But I'm continually watching Only Fools and Horses. It's really difficult, but I'm gonna go with Only Fools. I'm gonna go with Only Fools.
Only Fools.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've just started watching that. I see you're like 6 seasons in, and I'm like 6 or 7 seasons in. I'm like, I can't wait till I can get to that point because just the first episode itself is golden. So
yeah.
What's something you've learned throughout this YouTube journey, just being on here for so long, that maybe folks might not realize that as a content creator that you might actually come to a realization of, or actually learn just through this? Because so many people think it's just uploading videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Let's see. I learned one of the hardest things that you wouldn't expect, even coming from the guy with tough skin, being in management, dealing with customers on a daily basis, that one of the most difficult things is the comment section and being in that comment section. You want to communicate with the people who have like kind things to say and people who want to have like a fun conversation, but it's kind of like, I always put it like this, like whenever you go somewhere, if things work fine, whether you're at a restaurant or if you're in retail, when things are going well, nobody feels the need to leave a review or say a comment and say, hey man, great job there, nothing like that. But people who are upset with an experience, they'll more than likely leave a comment or say something negative. And that seems to happen in the comment section a lot too. YouTube has balanced that out a little bit and where they remove the negative comments, but I say it's one of the things is don't let the comment section get to you so much. And it's hard to say that. It's hard to tell people like don't let it get to you, but it can sometimes. The negativity can definitely bring you down where you got to take a break away from the comment section because you feel like you're trying to balance things out as a YouTube content creator and also try to juggle like what your fans want to see along with your own life balance, along with what works with the platform itself, all that stuff, juggling it. And then a lot of people don't see that background stuff. So then you'll get something like really negative that you're already thinking already. Like, yeah, that's something I was thinking already. And this person said it. So now it feels like it reaffirms it.
Yeah.
And that's the most difficult part where you would never expect it. Like I said, I have thick skin. Like I've dealt with bullies my life. I've been big my whole life. I can go with the best of them, but then you'll read it and it's always that it feels like a reconfirmation of what you're thinking already. It's not like the, hey, you're fat or you're stupid kind of thing. It's always stuff that reconfirms what you're already thinking. And then somebody says it. And it's juggling that and trying to push that to the side and navigate to just the positivity. That's difficult. That's a hard part. See, and not just, go ahead.
I wish I'd have took and actually done this interview with you yesterday because I created a stink unintentionally on my channel yesterday. And about the time 7 o'clock rolled around, I was like, I'm done with YouTube for today. Just whoop, cut it straight off. So because you're so true with that. It's that comment section, as much as it can be all unicorns and rainbows, the toxicity that you can see in there, or that one little thing that you were like, you've been unsure of or you've thought yourself, and the way somebody brings it across in the comment to take and reaffirm what you're thinking, or both of those things, it can be such a help, and it can be such a like get you so far in your head sometimes that you do have to take and just kind of just let me on to the next one.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
for sure.
Now, you're at almost 100K subscribers, dude. What's your plan for once? You got any like celebration plan for 100K, or is it business as usual?
So I want to do like a live stream or something like that for the 100K. I had like a lot of things in mind, but for the past, I'll say like maybe 9 months, it's been just more like survival mode in regards to like keeping my channel up because I'll receive a strike, it'll fall off. I get a strike, falls off, and then I get back to my normal upload rate. That's what when people said, "Do you do like 3 or 4 uploads a day?" I was like, I slowed down because I don't know when a strike's going to come, and if I do 3 from the same company, and they decide to we want to strike now I have 3 strikes from that company. So it seems like whenever I pick the pace back up and I go back to like I want to do like this happened about a month and a half ago. I went back to doing about 2 and 3. People might remember that when I was doing clips again, and I went back to doing those clips, and then maybe a week and a half after I did that, I received a strike, and that strikes on my record. Luckily, that'll fall off at the end of July. But if I reach 100K before that strike falls off, that's part of the qualifications if you're going to get a plaque or not. So I probably won't get a plaque now because I have a strike on my record. Even after 1,000+ videos and all that stuff, I won't receive a plaque. Sleepless nights, the whole shebang. And it kind of stinks, but at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I mean, the videos kind of show for themselves. The plaque would just be a nice addition. It wasn't like something that completely broke my heart or nothing. It was like, that sucks. It'd been cool to get one. But the 100K is just right now. I'm just in make sure my channel doesn't get striked out kind of mode right now. And if I reach when I reach 100K, it's going like, yeah, I appreciate everybody. I do appreciation video. I might still do a live stream, man, because just because I have a strikes on my record, just because I have a strike on my record, doesn't mean that I shouldn't go through with live streams that people have been requested for a while. So I'm probably still going to do a live stream once I reach 100K.
Dang, that sucks. I hope regardless, even if you've got a strike, at some point in time, they kind of come to their senses and give you the plaque. Because, number one, it's a cool thing that they take and kind of do. It does give you kind of that sense of personal validation. Oh, what I've been doing has been working.
Yeah.
But also, don't you get that little check mark once you hit that 100K?
Yeah, you get the check mark, the verification. You also get a direct YouTube support. So when you have issues, you have a direct person you can talk to by name without dealing with bots, all that type of stuff. So a lot of benefits come with the 100K thing. The verified, the person, the plaque. Looks like I won't be getting. There's a good chance I won't get the plaque though. Like I said, it does stink, but I've taken a breath and I stepped back and it's like, you know what? The world is in chaos right now. Don't complain about a plaque, So that's why I haven't made a video or nothing about it, saying I probably won't get a plaque or nothing because I'm like, dude, there's so much other stuff going on. It sucks, and I've worked hard for it, but like, it is what it is. Kind of like I would say, first world problems. You know what I mean? So,
what advice would you give somebody that's starting a channel, starting a reaction channel, or maybe just a YouTube channel in general?
All right, so I will say that's that'll be 2 different pieces of advice. So for both, if it's just a reaction channel or normal channel, I will say consistency is key. Make sure you frequently upload. Do not miss out. Do not feel like you can. It's great to step away when you feel like you need to, but plan for stepping away and have videos in the queue ready for that stepping away thing. Because even though YouTube might say you can, they say stuff like, well, we don't punish you for taking a week off or something like that. Yes, they do. They do punish you. Even for taking a day off or 2 off, they punish you for it. So consistency and frequency, that's very key. Like even if you choose, say if you want to choose to upload every day, I test out the water to see what best times work. Even though they give you a metric saying what times work, I still test different ones out. But I say pick a time throughout the day, make sure you post at that time every day so people can know. Because a big thing about people subscribing is that routine. Like, say, for example, you post every day at 3 o'clock. A lot of people will look forward to you posting every day at 3 o'clock. And when you fall off their routine, people lose trust in your consistency, and they'll step away, and you might lose a subscriber, or you may have been close to gaining a subscriber, and now they won't subscribe because you're inconsistent. So that's the biggest piece I'll give for both. I'll say for reactions in particular, do not expect to make a butt ton of money doing reactions because majority of videos will be claimed. You just have to. You have to like it. Don't do it because you think it's easy. It's harder than you think. So actually enjoy the reactions because your joy in building that community is what's going to keep you above water when you feel like quitting because the money isn't going to do it for sure. So I say that for reaction channels. When it comes to like just doing a basic YouTube channel, same thing. It's more work than you think. And you before your content clicks, it might take you 300, 400 videos before your content clicks. Depends on what you're working on. And don't make videos just to make videos. Specifically look up and see what might do good. Try to get the metrics in your favor. It might sound like you're selling out doing that, but you have to do what you think is going to grow. You don't want to do a video that nobody wants to see just because you think they want to see it. I learned that doing my 3D printing channel. I would think like nobody's ever done this and it's fun for me, so it should be fun to everybody. And it really isn't. it took me like 100 videos before I got that, before I understood that it's not about what's not out there already. It's about what people actually want to see. And doing the research to see what people want to see, and then also trying to marry the two. Will I enjoy this? Will it be okay for the algorithm? And will people enjoy it? Like marrying those things together to make a good video. Yeah, I'll say that's the best advice I can really give.
That's some really good advice. Like that's advice you don't hear some of these channels that take and give advice actually give. Especially the might take 300 videos before it actually clicks, because people don't realize you can be doing this for a long time and get discouraged because you get that slow itty bitty growth.
Yeah.
People don't realize sometimes it takes 200-300 videos because number one, whatever niche you're in, algorithm, the kind of content, because your content, I don't care who you are, whenever you start out, it might be good, but it's always going to take and get better the more you take and learn as you go through. So that people don't realize how much of a slog this can be, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
because the odds aren't in your favor. I think a lot of people do. You got to realize there's a sea of videos out there and a sea of people who want to make videos, and you have to take whatever leg up you can when it comes to stuff. Like I said, marry them. Try to find something that you can enjoy, people enjoy, and that's also, good for the algorithm that's going to actually get your content out there. Because I don't think anybody makes videos, because people like to put that out there that I just make the videos for fun. And some people do. They might upload family videos, things like that. But if you're saying like, hey, I want to be a YouTuber, you do have to like take a step back, take a step from yourself, and make hard decisions about like what's going to actually work, or you will get discouraged. Nobody wants to upload a video and see that it gets no views or 1 view, and they're actually working hard on the content. I've seen plenty of people who work really hard on content, and you can see the production value in their videos, because I used to follow Reddits and small YouTubers like that when I was growing, and they'll have like 2 subs, and there are people a guy who was on there who said he was been uploading every day for 3 years, and he just reached 1,000 subs and put hard work into his content, but he was making content only for himself that he felt that more people would enjoy because he enjoys it, but it wasn't something that was really good for everything. He didn't check off all those marks. He just really focused on, is this good for me, and then went from there.
Yeah. Wow, that's definitely. I don't know if you use like TubeBuddy or vidIQ or something like that, but having that extra maybe means of seeing, okay, I'm in this niche. What's doing good in this niche, and then maybe falling in line to put your own twist on it, so it doesn't look like you've copied everybody else. That's like so key a lot of times, regardless of niche, to take and start getting that burst. At least have that trickle effect until it gets to that point where people don't realize too. Like you put a video out 6 months after you've put it out, all of a sudden you'll take a look at analytics. You might pull in 1 or 2 views a month, and all of a sudden it's pulled in 400 views within a 48-hour period. And you're like, what's going on here? But you've got to take and go far enough to actually have something like that happen, and kind of like you said, you got to take and put in. It's funny how many people don't realize that you don't make it for yourself, at least to start off with, because you can work that in as you take and grow.
Yeah.
So, now I do have another question. In the future, would you be down for maybe taking and doing like a joint live stream with maybe a few other reactors, take and do like a round table type thing where maybe we take and just kind of talk with each other, and also talk with like people watching, maybe do something like react to all of our like first reaction videos that we put out on our channels and stuff like that?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, absolutely for sure. I'm down with that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now I think this is a good spot to end the interview, because you know what, you've got, I don't want to take and drag stuff on unnecessarily, and you know what I'm saying? I think this is a really good spot. I enjoyed the crap out of this, and we have to maybe, other than a live stream, maybe to take and do some kind of other collaboration outside of that. Like, I really want to start working with a lot of y'all, with a lot of the other reactors, you and everybody else, because we've got so much overlap, and y'all all nice people. So I definitely look forward to the next interaction with you, man. And
same here, man. This is a I gotta give you kudos for this, man. It's a fantastic idea to actually interview people in the same niche and stuff, man, because it definitely feels separated. It feels like everybody's like on their own little island, competing against each other, even though we know there's other people out there and we could build some camaraderie. We all kind of just tend to stick to your own island, which is understandable at times because, you know, you get so saturated with your own content, it's kind of hard to reach out. And you championed it, man. It's really, really good of you.
I happen to. It's funny because I've looked at so many different like niches and stuff like that. Content creators. I come from the. I started on YouTube as a beer reviewer, and there's a community there. Even gaming, you've got the gaming channels that take and band together. They joint streams or they take and do joint videos. And I was like, you know, we all do. It's like I told Halo Squirrel. I'm a very competitive person. Like, I don't care if you've got more subs than me, fewer subs than me. I'm always looking at where I'm sitting at, view-wise, sub-wise, and how everything's going for videos that I've done that you've put out similarly, or if you put out one that I've done already, I want to see how we stack up against each other. And it's just a competitive nature in me. And I was like, the thing about it is we're all also, like you said, it's like we should be reaching out. We should be taking and doing stuff with each other. So I was like, I don't see anybody else, and I'd really like to see this, and I think our subs will too. So,
yeah, absolutely, man. I really appreciate you reaching out for sure. I really enjoyed this a lot.
Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves, and if you haven't, for some reason, already subscribed to this fella, go subscribe to him, man. You're not going to take and miss out on anything. Trust me, you'll enrich yourself doing so.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, do so.
Later, everybody.